y'all. Give y'all a little ride through till y'all come up in here and then I'll start talking. Flip the cam. Or really start talking. I'll talk now, but more so later. Might turn these into some shorts. I'm always trying to figure this thing out, y'all. By the way, I am Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Shout out to Carrollton, Georgia. That's where I'm at right now. Didn't intend on being here. That's just how far my deliveries took me today. Wow. Okay. And I usually don't like it when it takes me out far because, yeah, I discover somewhere I may have never been, or I've been here before, but never this part of it. You know what I'm saying? But it don't look that different from other places I've been and stuff I've seen. So it's not that, it's nothing exciting. You know what I mean? It's just, okay, yeah, I know what this is. Been here before. I know what this is. That kind of thing, right? What's up to everybody coming in? If you want to keep chatting, you got to hit the subscribers. I need subscribers. We need that support, you know what I mean? We appreciate that you like us, but we want you to show us that you a real one, you know what I'm saying? Rock with us for real. All right? All right. That's how that go. That's how that go. If you with us for real, if you part of what I like to call the monetization nation, you're going to hit that subscribe button. You ain't going to just be here today and for now. You're going to be here tomorrow, the next day. You're going to be checking in. You're going to be seeing what we got. You're going to be realizing what I mean when I say multi-niche content. We do multi-niche content. You understand? Multi, 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 multi. Many topics, many things, many things, many things. Whew. I usually wouldn't put this on camera because it's not exciting or anything positive about it, but you see that thing over there? That is the local prison down here. Whenever you see a building with little slit things like that, that's the windows. Yeah, yeah, that's what that is over there. That is a local jail in this area. You know, when people talking about the hell they talking about? They talking about stuff like that. That's what they talking about. Yup. Yep. Look at that. Then my numbers went up when I started talking about that kind of heavy stuff, right? hmm But worldwide, a lot of people, they hear about it, but they don't ever see what that really looks like. Well, there you go. I just gave you a little taste. It ain't nothing I want to ever know about and have no intentions of doing anything to find out what it's like on the inside of it. But from a film standpoint, from an actor standpoint, I have worked at some facilities where there was a scene and that was the scene that they were portraying. So they wanted to do it at a real facility, and the scariest one I ever did, because we were really behind the fences and stuff. It was crazy. Like it was a bunch of us as actors, and I mean every ethnicity. They got everybody, and they just like had us all um, different looks or whatever and all this. But the thing was, I wasn't one of the actors in it. I was actually a stand-in, and stand-in is not the same as a double. Some people don't know that. Some people think, oh, you was double. No, double and stand-in, two different things. Double is gonna be on camera, and it's never on camera. Stand-in is the person that literally sits on the mark for the actor, they ready in hair and makeup or doing. You can get access to the sides, that part of the script that's gonna be, shot for the day or whatever. But we were at this huge facility somewhere on the north side. Honestly, I don't even remember where we were now, but I know we were on the north side. I do remember that. Northeast, north. It was north of where I'm at. You know what I mean? And it was huge, and it was intense because you're like, yo, this is the real thing. Like, we came in, we had to check in. We had our bus that we came in. I came in with the background, but like I said, I was a stand-in for one of the main characters in the scene, and they had us outside. That was one. There's really nothing good about it, but that was the one good thing because we were outside on a yard. It was supposed to be their fitness time, recess or whatever, and so they had the weights and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was that type of look. But here we go. Flip the camera, y'all. What's up, y'all? maybe some ladies up in here. They want to see all this handsomeness. Let me sprinkle them ladies with all this handsomeness. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a crazy. I'll tell you. You know what? I can talk about that now because that already came out way back. That's been out a long time ago. I never even saw it. I never saw the episode, but it was a show called, I think it was called Staircase or Stairwell, and it was based on a real life scenario where this actor, I'm saying actor, excuse me, it was an actor portraying the guy, but the real life story was, it was this writer, this older white guy. He was like in his 50s, and he had a really weird situation happen with his family, and his wife died from falling down a staircase. Now, it was one of them cases where everybody thought he did it, or at least in the court case, they convicted him. But I think to this day, he, was against that and swore his innocence. So he always said he was wrongly accused and put behind bars regardless. So the show was about that. I don't know if anyone saw the show, but it's a real show that came out. And like I said, I don't know if the final title was Staircase, but when we were working on it, that was the working title. And so there were scenes, building up to the crime scene. There was stuff with flashbacks. There was stuff when he got put away during the court scenes, when he got put away. And when he got put away, there was scenes where he was like, in prison. And so they were shooting all that around Atlanta, in different parts of Metro Atlanta. And so, like I say, there was a huge actual facility that they used for this one scene. And I had done some stand-in work on it. And again, stand-in is, person stands in place of the actual actor while they're getting the cameras ready, measuring everything, getting the lighting right. Anything you can imagine that need to be right before they say rolling, 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 which is what we say, PAs, because I've done that too, a bunch of production assistant work. I've been a PA. And man, I got so many stories. Sometimes I think I know there's a big thing about ebooks these days. I need to go on and drop an ebook. You know, my years up in the film biz, and let's tell all my stories, the ones I repeat all the time, the friends on here with y'all. Just put them all in one book for y'all. What y'all think? Y'all, if you're a subscriber, because that's the only way you can say something. If you're a subscriber, hit the comments. Let me know if you'd be interested in a tell-all book about an actor's experience in the film biz in Atlanta during its heyday. And I mean heyday of when it was more successful and people weren't coming over the damn double line, damn near about to run over somebody because they probably on their phone or drunk. Wow, what the hell was that just now? Woo, if y'all could have saw that. That was, yeah. Yep. But anyway, during the heyday of everything, I got a lot of stories, y'all. I got a lot of stories. I got stories from being in Tyler Perry studios, from acting to PA, stories. Oh my gosh, so many damn shows. Oz, oh, no, not Oz. What's the name of the show? Oh shit. Oh my gosh, I can see the name and I'm not saying it. I don't know why I said Oz. That wasn't shot in Atlanta. I don't know where that was shot. Um, Ozark. Thinking of all these old names. Ozark. Y'all know Ozark. Yeah. Shout out to old Marty and the other Joseph. I always remember his first name. I can always forget his last name. The brother who played, the white guy who played Tommy on whatchamacallit, on Power. Yeah, yeah. But he had a role on that too. And I got to watch him work. I actually sat at the table with him. I was in the scene. You might see it, you will see it if you go back and look for that episode. I think it was the episode they introduced his character, where they had the gambling ship. They had the big Mississippi style Dixie gambling ship. And so he was one of the big high rollers or whatever at this table gambling, getting mad because he wasn't winning. And his dad was the corrupt union boss. So because of that clout, he thought he could just go around, throw his weight, and act crazy wherever he wanted to be, and wasn't nothing gonna happen to him. But he got into it with the other gangsters in the show. So yeah, if you never saw it, real good show. Real good show. Better than I ever thought it would have been when I first heard the concept. I was like, what is this? But, with the success of Breaking Bad, I know that's why that show came about. It was just like, oh, let's do another show about the unassuming guy who ends up in all of this stuff and becomes a crime lord. So you had Marty with with Ozarks, the Ozark show. But Ozark was shot here in Atlanta, if you didn't know, all around the metro area. It was never where it said it was. They may have used some stock footage and aerial shots with drones and stuff from the actual place, but no, it was not shot in the Ozarks. It was shot in Atlanta, Georgia. I promise you, because I was on that show so many times. I did so much background on there. I may as well have been staff. I know I had multiple days on that thing. Um, Other stuff I've been on, being Mary Jane back in the day, that's always a favorite. I got plenty of stories from that. Man, oh my gosh. That's what I need to do that. I really need to do that. I just start chopping it up with my AI, talk to ChatGPT, build a file. Be like, okay, organize this, correct all my grammar, just talk to it until I get a big ass file and be like, all right, make an ebook, let's go. Bam, give me a file, let's go. Because I know y'all would enjoy that. Y'all would enjoy it. I got a lot of stories. I'm telling you, I got stories for stories for stories. Real stuff from on set. Okay? Not a bunch of people pontificating about what the business is like. No, I'm talking about the real deal. You know? The good times, the bad times, the in-between times. All of that. It's time to start writing these books, man. I need to do that. I gotta get something cooking up in here that's so major when it drops, like when we get this monetization, because y'all gonna keep hitting that subscribe button. That's what I love about this, at least. At least if you're not watching the main content, which I always encourage y'all to do, don't just watch the shorts and the lives. I appreciate y'all being here, but watch the shorts too. As I always like to call, watch more than the shorts. The shorts are the condiments, I always say. And that's the ketchup and the mustard. Eat the burger, okay? Get the sides, get the full meal. You know, get you a meat and veggie and rice and bread dinner. Okay, that's the main. Or if you don't eat meat, whatever, fill it up with a bunch of veggies, whatever works for you, right? You know, you say I don't cook now. All right, get your full raw meal. We got you. But you need that full meal, not that just always watching shorts and shorts and shorts and shorts and shorts. I love that y'all watching my shorts. I ain't saying I don't like that. I love to see that number when I put up a short. 5 minutes later, I got 500 views on it. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. But I want you to continue, because what I do is I link my shorts to longer content. That's how I try and, you know, try to bait y'all in and get y'all hooked on the real stuff, man. You're going fishing for the real. Stop messing around with just the little minnows. I can give you a swordfish, a shark. Hello. I fish for real. So, let me show you some stuff. Let me show you some things. Let me show you some things about life you didn't even know existed. Show you some places you didn't know existed. Let's go travel. Let me show you my travel videos. Let me link this to that, which I do. And y'all paying attention. Y'all paying attention. It's there for you. You gotta pay attention. Speaking of fishing, I'm going fishing again this week, real soon. So stay tuned. That's right. We'll be back on the water real soon. All right. Sun is coming, y'all. Let's go.